Imagine being stuck in a fortress where freedom feels like a distant dream, and the walls you call home are also your prison. This is the reality for countless women in Afghanistan's mental health facilities, trapped not just by illness, but by a system that leaves them with no escape. But here's where it gets controversial. The very institutions meant to heal them might be perpetuating a cycle of neglect. Let's explore how a mix of cultural norms, political control, and systemic failure creates a crisis few dare to discuss. And this is the part most people miss. These women aren't just mentally unwell. They're casualties of a society that sees their suffering as a private shame, not a public emergency. High on a hill in Kabul, behind a rusted gate topped with barbed wire, lies a facility locals call Kala, the Fortress, run by the Afghan Red Crescent Society. It's one of the few places in the country dedicated to women with mental health struggles. The BBC recently gained rare access to this overcrowded centre, where 104 women live in cramped dormitories, their stories echoing with desperation. Among them is Mariam, a woman in her mid-20s who claims she's been trapped here for 9 years after years of domestic violence and homelessness. Her brothers allegedly beat her for venturing outside unchaperoned, a fate many young women face due to strict cultural norms. Eventually, they kicked her out, leaving her to survive on the streets until a stranger brought her to Kala. Despite her trauma, Mariam's smile remains steady, and she helps clean the facility, volunteering as a way to cope. Yet she can't leave, because returning home would mean facing the same abuse, and there's no one else to take her in. Habiba, 28, tells a similar tale. Her husband forced her out after marrying again, leaving her with no family to turn to. Her 3 sons now live with an uncle, and she hasn't seen them in over a year. Without a phone, communication is impossible. "I want to be reunited with my children," she says, her voice trembling. But in Afghanistan, women like Habiba are stuck in a double bind. The Taliban's strict rules require a male guardian for travel, work, or even basic services, making independence nearly impossible. Generations of gender inequality, limited education, and economic exclusion have left women financially dependent on men, trapping them in a cycle where survival hinges on male relatives, many of whom see them as burdens. The crisis isn't just about personal tragedies. A 2024 UN report revealed a staggering 68% of Afghan women reported bad or very bad mental health, a statistic the Taliban government dismisses. Hamdullah Fitrat, their deputy spokesperson, claims their policies ensure women's rights. Yet the reality on the ground tells a different story. Dr. Abdul Wali Usmanzai, a psychiatrist at a Kabul hospital, describes an influx of patients, mostly women facing economic pressure and family breakdowns. 80% of my patients are young women, he says. But how can women seek help when they're forbidden from moving freely? The answer lies in the growing backlog at Kala, where patients wait years for beds. Some have been there for decades, abandoned by families who refuse to take them back. Consider Zainab, a 16-year-old who spent a year shackled at home before finally being admitted to the centre. Her father, Feda Mohammed, explains the bombings at her school in 2022 left her traumatized. She climbs walls and runs away if we unchain her, he says, though he admits her escape attempts brought dishonor to their family. Now, Zainab's future is uncertain. Will she join the ranks of Kala's long-term residents, like the women who've spent 35 to 40 years in the facility? Salima Halib, a psychotherapist there, calls it a death sentence for many, abandoned by all with no hope of leaving. So where does this leave us? The Taliban claims to protect women, yet their policies and societal norms create a system that traps them in cycles of abuse and isolation. Is Kala a sanctuary or a prison? Are these women receiving care or simply being hidden away? The numbers don't lie, but the government's narrative does. We invite you to weigh in. Can a system built on male control ever truly address women's mental health? Or is this a crisis too steeped in patriarchy to be solved without sweeping change? Share your thoughts below, because the stories of Mariam, Habiba and Zainab deserve more than silence.